And I mean, similar to how this all started, you have to make them. You have to be naive to learn and gain wisdom. Just part of it. And realizing that there are guys out there who will use the use being black in the most bad faith way possible. Yeah. Will siphon and take and manipulate to gain whatever for themselves, and will just throw people under the bus and just be shady. You said that your thing above all is like funny. If someone's light and kind of funny and you're able to connect in that,
I gravitate towards that more than anything, especially up front.
I think for me, a sense of authenticity, safety, trust.
Now you straight from the south side. Mike, I'm just so happy to be here right now. Real Rap Podcast.
Hell yeah. All right, hey, I feel like Mr. Chase could be episode 60. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are back. Real Rap Podcast. If you've been paying attention lately, forgot what episode count we are, but I am pretty positive. Aaron Chase returning once again, is episode 60. As you know, we've been talking for the last 3 days already, so please catch up. Say hi, everybody. Aaron.
Hi, everybody.
All right, nice. So, and I don't know how much of what we've already been talking about might make the preamble to the episode, but when you were saying, what you were saying about black. No, now I am definitely curious your insight on this. When you say black, in your mind, what do you see? Is that all 13%? Is that a certain type of, or is that like when you say, hey, black people, connections and everything we were talking about?
It is contextually based. So if I'm talking about America, I'm literally talking about African Americans, black people in America. The black Brits are getting on my fucking nerves.
So Idris Elba, you ready to throw him right out?
I'll fuck Idris Elba.
I don't know. Idris been doing Muay Thai for like a hot little minute, bro.
Yeah, I'm just joking. Idris.
I think he has like professional fights.
I'm playing Idris. Please don't.
He's like 6'12".
Everyone else but Idris Elba.
A monster.
Yeah. The black Brits talking shit about like, oh, black Americans, they don't know where they're from and all that. It's like, well, yeah, the history, like
sure.
And we develop our own culture out here that it doesn't matter. Anyway. If I'm talking about like a global thing, I mean black people across the world. If I'm talking about Chicago, I'm talking about black people on the south side versus the north side versus the west side. These are separate pockets.
Okay.
It depends on the context of what we're talking about. So
I guess that makes sense. Like you say airplane, you could mean Spirit Airlines, or you could mean an F-16 fighter jet.
I think one of the things I've grown to find is the importance of context. Subtlety is built in context to me. Like if you remove context, then you remove subtlety. And if you remove subtlety, you become muddled and miscommunicated. If that makes sense.
Sure. I'm interested because we were just talking about it. I've known you now for years. Basically your whole time in Chicago, I've known you, right?
Yeah.
And I've always seen you as an every guy. Whenever I see you, there really is no limit or box for the folks that you associate with, or the comics I see you interacting with or hanging out with. It's everybody from every walk of life, every color, every hue, every sex, every identification, what have you. You're in there, and everybody rocks with you, and you rock with everybody. And I get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I get being tied to your roots and being proud of your culture and everything, what that means to you, and wearing that out. Is that something you're looking to make more prominent, or are you just like, hey, I just want to see, you know, my roots and where I come from do better. But otherwise, you know, life is life. I get along with who I get along with.
I hope the best for everybody,
Yeah.
but I work on the best for myself and my people. And when I say my people, I don't literally mean race. I mean my community.
Your circle.
My
Right.
circle. I think when I was younger, it was everybody, the world. And then the older I got, that shrank more and more. And now it's it's the people I know personally and trust. There is a wider thing that is of importance that is, again, more political and voting and stuff like that. But I can't. You watched the Boondocks growing up.
Yeah, of course.
I'm so upset at how well that's aged. That shit, I should not, like, when I watched the R. Kelly episode from season 1 of the Boondocks, I'm like, why the fuck does this came out like 2004. Why does this work so well right now?
Yeah.
And that is why I'm like, fuck, you can't save everybody.
Yeah. Good satire might be the gem of comedy at the end of the day. Mark Twain's books are in the news every 4 years. But that resonates. We were talking about negative comments and this, that, and the third. They try and change the dialogue and this and that, but it still resonates. It's still, and it's satirical in nature. One of the first comedy writers in the American canon, my understanding.
Mark Twain. Mark Twain, right?
Yeah. And you take it back to the old Saturday Night Live when they used to do the news and some even the newer news ones when they're just snapping on one of the things. And if this ever stops, America's finished. Okay. But America, our ability to let some of our popular comics or speakers take a dump on our own country and our own politics and our own, you know, whatever, for us to point a finger at ourselves through our entertainment and our news circles, that's a real big, because it's the Eminem defense in 8 Mile. What are you gonna say?
Yeah.
Oof. All right, here, tell them something they don't know about me.
I immediately, when you say that, I immediately think of how Drake tried to do that and it didn't work. But that's a different thing. That's a different. Yeah. But anyway, it is always fun to speak to you about politics. So here we are.
Yeah.
You were in the military.
Yes.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Okay. Apparently, there is word that the National Guard's supposed to come to.
Yeah.
And from what I understand of it, the federal government is controlling the National Guard and telling them what to do. And our governor and mayor is telling the Chicago PD what to do. And this is the state level. And now we have sincere concern of conflict. We're constantly in unprecedented territory.
Sure.
But as a man of the military, how would that work? If I'm okay, I'll try to summarize this and we'll get to it. So if the federal government comes in and they're, I don't know, breaking into someone's house to take someone away, and the cops come and say, you can't do that, we're here to stop that. Both have authority from both high powers, both have guns. I don't see anything but potential very deadly violence coming from that. But do you think that the federal troops are going to follow through, or what do you think?
Well, on its face, the ultimate, easiest, simplest, you can't have two dudes say, all right, let's go behind the house and figure this out, and everybody from the neighborhood circles around them. Something has to happen. When two people get behind the house and everybody from the neighborhood is there with blood in their hearts, something has to happen. Even if those two dudes don't get into it, somebody's going to get into it. So if that energy gets here and you got 10 National Guard, 10 police officers, 10 gang, you don't think nobody's going to glitch. Somebody's glitching, and it's going down. But also, President Trump is a notorious pump faker. Ever since he's been in office, he just pump fakes, see if you're going to, and then he's got you, right? So he's, who knows? But I will say this. So you know what a strip mall is, right? Just a large facility. There's 5 stores in it, right? So the military, it's each one of those department stores.
Okay.
Right? Air Force, Army, Marines, do. Now, just because they own the buildings in that strip mall, they're still a landlord. And the landlord is the government. So it doesn't matter what the police is really talking about, because the police they go into those department stores. They're like damn near customers. You know what I mean? So if the government comes down here, so it's just like marijuana is legal in Chicago, right? National Guard comes down here, they can arrest you for marijuana because it's still a federal crime. We're under the federal government overall, the big umbrella. Local law enforcement, now they're probably, I don't know the interplay between that. At the end of the day, you probably shake hands and, all right, hey, your older cousin's here. We got over here. We'll let you know if we need help with anything like that, and da-da-da. But no, the federal government is the overseer for sure.
So in that situation, then, yeah.
But also a guiding, I think, something that might be redeeming. And nobody knows, right? But when they come down here, so that's why people in relationships go out and get a counselor or a therapist. They need somebody that's detached from the relationship, a third party to come in and be mediator, right? So if you have local police, they live not too far from the neighborhood they patrol. They see the same faces, they get the same calls, they're seeing the violence in the same few areas. You're going to start to develop a bias. You're going to start to do an us-them natural thing in human beings, because being exposed to stuff like that on a constant basis, you start to detach and then start to kind of other. Hey, this is my side. You're on that side. That's as far as I could take it right now in order for me to do my job, right? When somebody from the outside comes in, they're not looking at it. They're just looking at it like Section 12B. I'm on Section 12B. So that might be good, because there might be a cop that's here in the city that's just, they wake up every day, go to the same neighborhood, see some of the same faces, and they're just done with it. They're not.
My take on it is concerning is putting it lightly. You've described, I would say, the nicest possible scenario, the most positive version of what that looks like. I think, to me, it's the principle of the matter of sending these people in the first place, and that I don't believe that Donald Trump or the Republicans or all of these people, I don't believe that they are sincerely thinking, we want to help stop crime. I don't think that's what this is. This is a power play to me. And so it is beyond what I ever would have imagined from 2016. I think if we were to, I think we have, the crab has been boiled, or the frog, or whatever the metaphor is. I think if you were to take the people who supported Donald Trump from 2016 and just snap them into 2025 and be like, okay, so this is what's going to happen, I think they would feel different about it. But over time, we've normalized and deteriorated ourselves to the point of just absolute absurdity. Like, when I see videos, as angry as I've been about like Latinos for Trump, to me that is incredibly stupid, to put it bluntly. As annoying as that is, it has been really crazy to see like guys in unmarked vans and no fucking bitch grabbing people. I'm like, yo, grabbing workers. This idea that like we're gonna get the criminals. It's like, why are you going for the guy at Home Depot? He's just trying to. It's just really fucking sick to me, and I guess I don't think I can. In my loss of naivete, in my loss of innocence, I don't think I can give the federal government that, like, well, maybe this possible positive scenario. I just don't trust it. We'll see what happens, but
there's already a case study. It was the National Guard got sent to Kent State, I believe. This is back in the 60s during the hippie generation. At the end of the 60s, 68, 69.
They shot
the hippies. Yeah. So there's already a precedent of how it can go left.
Yeah.
You said something interesting. I'd like to unpack it with you. You were saying about the Latinos for Trump and how that. So when I watch, and I identify as a true independent, right? Okay. I take my political allegiance. I take from Chris Rock.
Okay.
Like I base
the party of rock.
I base what side of the aisle I'm on based on the issue.
Okay.
I'm conservative about some stuff. I'm liberal about some stuff. It depends on what it is. Tell me what it is first, then I'll make a decision, right? Okay. I'm not going to just align myself with either side and be like, hey, yeah, I don't care what you put on the paper. Just yes on everything. No, that's not how I feel. But when I was watching this last election, or what it feels like to me, and this is what I want your input on, I think that because the Democratic Party lost, and every election there's 20% that you're never going to change their mind on this side, 20% you're never going to change their mind on that side, and the 60% in the middle that every politician fights for. And for the people that were going the other way and started, it feels like the Democratic Party has lost that savviness, has lost their charm, their riz, their charisma to ingratiate that middle part that wants to come over. And now, because Trump is such a divisive person, which on purpose, he's caused, from my perspective, he's caused people to say, if you go for him, you're a hunk of garbage, you're brain dead, you have no heart, you don't care about humanity, and all that does is galvanize the 60%, like, wait, what? You're going to tell me, woo, 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 so now I'm over here. And it's how do you catch a fly, right? Because my entire life growing up, Bill Clinton, savvy dude, bro. And at that time, the pulse of the people, it was savvy. Those were what the politicians were. Obama, forget about it. Savvy dude. You know what I mean? And it was always the Republican side I was growing up was rigid, staunch, bootstraps, and blah, 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 blah. And I have no fun, and da, 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 da. And it's like, ooh. And it feels like that paradigm is switched. Now you have funny, clever, savvy-ass Republicans, and they're grabbing that middle base. And for the Democrats to get back into that winning mode, this being so closely tied to your emotions of who happens to be running stuff and who's around, and then putting that out there, you're turning off that 60% that you desperately need to win anything.
What is the question? There's a lot of information there. I guess, what is the specific question I'm being asked right now?
Well, it's just a flow of the conversation.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it sparked that conversation because you was like, Latinos for Trump. I don't get that. Any Latino listening to me right now that happens to be on the fence, you might have just contributed them to saying, who's this guy think he is telling me who I can and can't, and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm only saying that because that's possibly how, when Joe Biden got on The Breakfast Club
and said, you're not black if you don't vote for me.
It's
okay. Really stupid. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think if there was like a Latino person who's on the fence, seeing everything going on right now and me saying, I don't understand Latinos for Trump, I don't think that's smart. If that pushes you away, fine. I'm done.
That right there, though.
Yeah.
The door's closed, communication's off.
Yeah. I'm done. I'm setting a boundary, if you will.
Wow.
When in 2016, my take was, this doesn't seem very smart, but I get you want change and you want someone to shake it up, and Trump shakes it up, and he's entertaining and he's funny, and this is fucking crazy. And my take was like, well, there's checks and balances, and we'll be fine. And then what I realized was the checks and balances was a handshake deal. That your take on, I want to see I'm independent and I'm Republican or conservative based off of the topic, the issue we're talking about. Similar to me when I'm saying, like, if I'm talking about black people, it depends on the context. So that's kind of how I look at it. And I hear you, and that concept I agree with in 2016 and before. And when he got into office, and I was like, okay, well, let's see what happens. I was similar to Dave Chappelle when he did his SNL monologue. I will give you a chance. If you give us a chance, let's see what happens. And what happened was a lot of bad things and continued galvanization from him specifically. And then as time went on, I was like, okay, we did the experiment for 4 years. This didn't seem to be good. This didn't seem to work out. So let's not do this again. And then to see January 6th, I was like, oh, okay. This is really, like, we have alarm bells here. This is very bad. We should not let this happen again. This is bad. We cannot let this get into our system and continue to spread and take over. And, you know, through just luck, before I continue to shit on Republicans, I will shit on Democrats real quick and say putting Joe Biden in there was the dumbest, like, infuriating. We were very lucky that Trump at the time was so bad that, and the COVID thing and all that stuff happened, that Joe Biden got lucky enough to win at that moment. I didn't vote for Joe Biden because I like Joe Biden. I voted for Joe Biden because I couldn't fucking handle another 4 years of this shit. So I was hoping that the Democrats would learn a fucking lesson and adjust. And they have, as of recent, I don't know what you know about what Gavin Newsom's doing and what our governor has been doing, a lot of like trolling and a lot of fuck you, we're not dealing with this shit anymore. Gavin Newsom
just started a podcast, I believe.
Oh, really? That's probably a bad idea, but whatever. Him going out there and tweeting the way Trump tweets with the all caps and making, it's like, yeah, fuck you. We're done. I'm done with the
How is that a bad idea, though?
With the podcast?
The podcast and tweeting like Trump, like that.
No, I think that's a great idea.
He's following the winning formula.
I think the tweeting like Trump is a great idea. The podcast, it's potential oversaturation. It gives you too much space to fuck up. But regardless, what they're doing now, I'm like, yep, that's what you should have been doing however many years ago when this first started. So that's my take on the Democrats. It's incredibly upsetting, but we're in a rock and a hard place for me.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, it's a boundary. I've given this enough chances. You've bit me on the ass enough times. You've spit in my face enough times. I'm done here. Same with when we were talking about, like, when I said, like, I was very open to, like, let me let all the black people in. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, I can't trust you. I can't trust you. I can't trust you. I don't give a fuck what you say to me anymore. You have fucked me over enough times where you've made it clear what this is. And so my take on it now is, you know, if you have a problem with what I'm saying, vote for your best interest. Then fuck me. I'm wrong. I don't give a shit. But vote for what you think is actually going to help you. And I would say that pretty objectively, the Latinos for Trump thing did not help them, clearly. And
that's a bold statement, though, no? Right? Because that's a guy talking, giving his opinion on like abortion rights or whatever, like I'm an outside observer. I'm not a woman, never have been, and I have an opinion, but I don't think my opinion should be measured with the same weight as a woman who has the ability to experience that part of the human the human life cycle. And when it comes to culturally, I think it applies too. How Latino, which is again contextually a lot of things.
There's a lot of different things. Yeah.
That is an entire lifestyle. It's a whole nother language. It's how you grew up, your relationship to America, your relationship to all the other cultures in America. So, how that applies to them, I would say, and I would say we're a little too far out of their sandbox to start saying what they should. And of course, you're talking about the specific ones that you're talking about that apply to your context, but that's not all of them.
Mm-hmm. I think so. We'll use the abortion thing as the example.
Sure.
So I agree with you. My take on abortion should not hold nearly as much power as a woman who can have or not have an abortion. It is a far more personal thing for them. But I want to say it was a Chappelle joke who was like, if you can abort
There's
it,
a few of them.
There's a few abortion jokes from Chappelle, but the idea being, if you can abort it, I can abandon it. So this idea of like, let's say me and a woman, we have sex and then she gets pregnant. It's her body. At the end of the day, her autonomy is, am I keeping this or not? And the only sense of control, it still does affect me. And so while it is not directly in my body, it is affecting me. And I have now the right to decide if I want to be involved in this. Because our decisions together have affected both of us. With Latinos for Trump, it's you. Yes, you did this with your own culture in mind, and I have very little say in that. But what you did was you voted someone in who also affects me. So your decision, I think you made a bad decision for your community, and I know you made a bad decision for me and my community. So I'm good on you. And as far as my knowledge of the different Latino communities, their logic as to why they voted for him is different. So for the, I want to say Colombians, they have a really negative history with communism, if I understand the history correctly. So their take is like anything that's anti-communist, they're going to vote for, which I understand the logic. But clearly, you're getting fucking sent back now. I don't know. And with Mexicans, the logic is also different. I know there's some colorism going on in general, but that's cultures of all nations. I guess my take on it is, okay, we've drawn some lines in the sand, and I'm good. I have like we said, my world is gotten. It's like, all right, I'm fucking with my community and my people. And
so are you talking to Latinos directly about this, like on your show? I asked that. So I really try and take in news from as many outside of America sources as possible. One of those is WeOn. It's an Indian-based news source, right? And you see the 7-Eleven right next to the spot. It's to where we are right now. So it's owned by a Pakistani couple. The husband's name Mufasa, the wife's name's Pai. Love them both dearly. They're great. I've known them for years now. They're fantastic people. I actually changed the menu at the 7-Eleven right there. I told them to get protein cookies. And pie. Oh, I love pie.
You're in incredible shape, by the way.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, sorry.
So I was just actually talking to Pi a day or two ago, and I was like, Pi, let me ask you a question. Cause I can ask Google, but I need to hear it. I need to hear it directly from the source, cause they're Pakistani. I was like, tell me about Modi. And Modi is the like prime minister of India or whatever. And she talked my ear off the next 27 minutes in a row from the Pakistani perspective on the Indian prime minister and why this and why that. And he's a hunk of garbage and he hates Muslims and he woo, 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 woo. I could have went on ChatGPT. I could have went on Google, and it would have said Modi was born in blah 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 at this year, and boo boo boo, and he wrote a paper and da da da. But I got it from the source of one opinion from, a Pakistani lady that owns a 7-Eleven in Chicago. Her husband got stabbed in the back by a homeless person 11 months ago, and they're just trying to put their kids through college, 2 engineers and like one of them in med. You know what I mean? Like, hearing that perspective was like, oh, okay, I definitely can't come out of my face and be like, Pakistanis think this and believe that and woo woo, but now I have one more peek into that culture. And with the Latinos, you have a platform that this would be I would tune into that episode all day to hear you go heads up with a Latino person, especially a comic, and be like, what's wrong with your people? Have you done that already?
I do it on the street all the time.
Oh, okay. All right. These are those nuggets of gold you're sitting on that you're releasing 7 months from now.
Yeah. I got some moments. I will say I say on the street very openly, like I don't understand. I don't. Okay, there's a moment. It's not really a Trump moment, but so last night doing the thing, and Mexican dudes come by and like, hey, what's up, my nigga? And I'm like, I was like, can I ask you a question? And they're like, yeah. And I said, I mean, there's no disrespect, but why do you guys say nigga? Why? And we were laughing, and I'm like, and honestly, like, I'm not trying to attack him. And he said, well, I grew up in the hood. I grew up with black people, and the classic things you're going to hear. I said, right, but why not use the B word, beaner, whatever. Why not use that word? That is literally your... Why not?
N-word is magical, bro.
Yeah, and it's like...
Just as a sound that comes out of your face that has a meaning, it is a magical word.
And I think it's black excellence that made it magical. We took a thing that is negative and we flipped it. And I'm proud of us for doing that. With the Latinos, I'm like, or Mexicans, I'm like, why don't you guys just do... Like, I understand your logic. This is where you grew up and whatever. And you grew up around this. But that doesn't mean you have to say it. And he said, his black friend said it's fine. So here we are. I have moments like that a lot where I know I sound aggressive about it, but I will, if you're a Latino for Trump and you want to explain your logic, I'll sit there and listen. I'll shut the fuck up. And my experience of talking to Latinos on the street about it, the ones that like him either really hate communism or they are, they feel like kind of a model minority. Like, I did this the correct way. These people are not doing it the correct way. Therefore, I want to block that. That's essentially their logic from what I gather.
There's core values to both sides of those political coins that if you align with them 70% or more, chances are that's what you're going to fall into, regardless of what anybody says or how anybody votes. Black folks have conservative values, period.
I would say so, yeah.
Big on God.
Yep.
Not very loose with their feelings on LGBT, sexual fluidity and whatnot. Very rigid on that. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Doesn't mean it's not prevalent. It just means as far as putting it out on Front Street and waving a rainbow flag, good luck to you. It's not going to happen. And a couple of other core values, it might not be off the top of my head at this moment, but I could be wrong on this. I'm probably talking out both sides of my ass, but there are certain social programs that do help that are highly publicized by the Democratic Party, and it's so indoctrinated, it's so ingrained that I feel that because on paper, black folks have such the two major ones that I said, and I could sit down and try and think maybe there's some more, but the two major ones that I said, that's over. Now you kind of start to take apart the Republicans. It's big government. It is low taxes. It's hey, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, get a business, go get a bank loan. And black folks are so, black folks in the wrong situations, impoverished black folks are like, what are you talking about, bro? Mm-hmm. No, I need help today. Mm-hmm. This start a business, wait 13 years to start seeing a profit. I don't got time for that right now. I need eggs, milk, cheese, bread now. Mm-hmm. Hurry up. So I can see the disconnect because it's generations. And by the way, you have the magic answer to solve black folks' problems today. You can snap your fingers and the genie goes, here it is. Do you know that you'll be gray and damn near in the grave before you actually see it take place? Because the generation we are in now is already lost to what's happened their entire life. The generation they're raising, not going to be a whole lot better because they're being raised by a lost generation. Mm-hmm. The institutionalized successfulness of, our culture would be the generation after that, mm-hmm. which they're the ones that are going to have those kids are still kids right now. Mm-hmm. I'm barely going to, and that's if you fix it today. And with all of our access to instant gratification, mm-hmm. it feels like, hey, I want the solution today and I want to see the progress today. And even if we get the solution today, we're not going to see the progress for 50, 60, 70 years. I'm not going to see it if it's solved today.
Yeah. My feelings of that are, I'm going to speak for myself personally. Please. So this is not for everybody else. Please. Myself personally is, I think, I would hope that the actions I do today down the road, whether I'm alive for it or not, help the community in the future. That's
honorable.
Thanks. I'm not good at taking. Thank you. I'm not good at. I need to work on that. Like,
yeah, you should.
Yeah. I think about my grandma told me this story.
Happy birthday, Nano. By the way, I'm about to give you a call. Go ahead.
Oh, happy birthday. Is she gonna watch this?
I didn't know. No, not at all.
Just out of the universe.
Yeah. I just put it in the universe.
So my grandma told me this story where my family, they moved to early on in integration. They moved to like a white neighborhood and the white people were fucking with them. And the whole intention was like a better school, better life. Let's fucking grind. Let's do this. And they were like breaking into the house and like flooding the basement and all this shit. And my grandpa, one day went out with a shotgun and was out in front and was like, I'm letting you guys know, like, we're not going to be doing this anymore. And that, I didn't know this about him. I didn't know that he always, not soft by no stretch, sure. Not soft, but I couldn't even, when I was a kid, I could have never imagined him doing that. And there was a sense of pride I took in him saying like, we're not doing this anymore. And if enough black people or enough people in general, whatever cause, do that and say, we're not fucking doing this anymore, it gets better for me. It gets better for my parents. It gets better for me. And so on and so forth. And I would like to carry on that tradition of being the guy that gets with the shotgun and says, we're not fucking doing this anymore. So that whoever in the next generation can make it an inch further, whatever it is.
Sure, hell yeah. Nah, I mean, drawing a line in the sand to say we're not going to regress past this part is, no, that's dope. I do want to, I definitely want to get your perspective on this.
Okay.
And it might be my feed, but it feels like it's starting to kind of be a prevailing narrative that's out there. And not that you're the expert by any means, but I'm keen to get a comics insight. So there was a recent pow at a school, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it was from the T in the LGBT.
Trans man, I believe.
And the narrative that I'm starting to see painted is that on the demo of mass pows, the T's are running in first place. And Is this the same? Is this the same dialogue that you're seeing maybe in your feed, or is this not a narrative that you've heard at all?
It's a narrative I've heard from like Fox News and conservatives spinning. Trans people are like fucking an umpteenth percent of the population.
Sure.
And if we were to, we don't have a Jamie here to Google things, but if we were to Google the types of shooters, it's like 90% white men. And not trans white men.
Well, no, in Chicago specifically, they I can't say for the rest of nationwide, but they upgraded black on black crime in inner cities that would typically have been looked at as drive-bys or gangland shootings, what have you. They've upped those categories to, I don't know what the precedent is, but they've upped those to mass shootings now. So now it's on the same graph.
So I would say that, one, I'm not a fan of when we say black on black crime, because in any neighborhood where there are people of the same type, they're going to be committing crimes against each other. Sure. Jewish on Jewish crime, fucking Mexican, like that's how a community works.
But that's not how American communities are broken down. We say white and you say black. Black is, I talk about this on stage, but when you say black, you're actually throwing us all together in it. That's Haitians, Africans, dark Puerto Ricans, American black. When you say white, you're tossing in, somehow Jewish always gets left out of white, but you're saying German, Irish, whatever, Polish and American white. So that's actually counter to the rest of everything, because if you started breaking us all down to our individual cultures, black and white are actually, your last name is Morris, Johnson, or Jackson, and your first name is Kyle, Andrew, or whatever. And black folks and white folks have the same American names. Kyle Johnson is Kyle Johnson white and Kyle Johnson black. But because of the country that we're in, and nobody has time to sit there and figure out Joranowski, like where you're from, you're just white.
I'm going to go back to the trans thing.
Okay.
The long story short is it's predominantly white men that do this, and that the spinning the narrative of trans people is, to me, a way of dodging the thing that will actually help, which is better mental health and more appropriate gun laws. And when I say appropriate gun laws, I don't mean take all the guns. You're not going to do that. I understand. I own a gun. Like, you're not going to take all the guns. I mean, like,
bullet control. That was the other part of the same Chris Rock joke. Every bullet should cost $10,000.
Oh, I would never go to the range. That's expensive now. It's so expensive now. Anyway, my take on that is, we have this community, the trans community, that is like barely a percentage of this fucking nation that is getting shit on and being scapegoated. And our country has a tendency to pick a group and scapegoat them. Like after 9/11, it's fucking people with turbans. They're the bad guys. Russians for like in the 90s were the bad guys.
Cold War.
Yeah, Cold War. They're the bad guys. There's always a person that our country picks, or a group that our country picks, to scapegoat. And it's very rare that we take a second and look at the specifically wealthy white Judeo-Christian, whatever. The guy that Luigi took out, that guy. That is the tippity top. That's who needs to be taken down a peg. And they have a really good job at spinning the narrative so that now it's trans people. It's like it's really nonsensical to me. It is clearly a pattern of cis white men doing this, and it sucks that this is even happening in the first place.
All right, so this last particular case, in general, that's so say it's a one-off. Do you think any part of this person's identity played a role in them feeling like this was their last recourse in life? As opposed to, I'm just going to sit in my room or go out in the woods. Yeah. All I need is one. Hey, sorry guys, read my letter. Life was hard, which I sympathize with. Yeah. But to make the switch, to actually now turn your life's tragedy into performance art, which end of the day, because it's not.
It's an interesting way to describe it, but I know what
It
you're
is
saying.
because now there's a formula. It's reality TV. I'm old as hell. So when I grew up, I saw the very first
Columbine.
Real World. No, the Columbine was it was John Whitman was the first one in the clock tower in Texas Texas Tech University. But I went I saw the first Real World, right? The first 3 seasons of the Real World were just people.
Yeah.
They were in New York or wherever they were at. They grabbed a bike messenger dude. They grabbed a comic that was. They grabbed some chick that was like the lead cheerleader in high school. They grabbed 8 whatever people, put them in a house, and saw what happened when people stopped being nice and started being real. And for 3 seasons, that's what it was. And then after those 3 seasons, they figured out archetypes, and so now they got strong jawed, 6'2" guy with abs, pretty girl, crazy, don't know what he's gonna do guy. You got, the Molly Ringwald character from fucking whatchamacall, right?
Yeah.
Now there's an archetype.
Yeah.
You're gonna take yourself out because who knows reason. You felt marginalized, you have identity, this, that, and the third, whatever your issues are. Now you say, all right, well, all I have to do is grab this, that, and the third, and at least I'm going to be in the news for a week and a half. I'm not going to see it, but at least I'll be in the news for a while.
I was talking to Rachel about this. I don't know. I actually don't. I don't have an answer for that. And outside of the identity politics stuff, I don't know why a white person, black person, trans. I don't understand the logic of you want to kill yourself, so I'm going to randomly. And I know killing anybody randomly is not okay, but there's something particularly sick about kids. There's something particularly heinous about that. I don't know. I don't know why. And this is what we need: fucking mental health care. We need to figure out what the fuck is going on in a proactive way. Get ready for a real hot take.
All right.
Okay. I don't think we approach Jesus.
Go ahead, put it out.
Yeah, you're gonna clip this too.
Let's get it out there.
I don't think we approach pedophiles in the proper manner either.
Please
for the
elaborate.
same logic. So I'm making a distinction between a pedophile and a sex offender.
Okay.
The distinction being the actual following through on the act versus the thought in your brain.
Okay.
We've established in our culture, and understandably so, if you are a pedophile, you're a pariah. Nobody gives a fuck about you. Have you ever seen the pedophile catchers on YouTube?
No. Oh, well, no. Yeah, I've seen it in my feed. Like they're at the Jewel Osco and they just sock dude next to the diapers.
Yeah,
because he came over there for whatever.
Yeah, it's a frustrating thing to watch because it's not like Chris Hansen where we're sitting down and then the cops come in here and we've done all of the recourse to properly follow through. It's a bunch of renegade assholes who are dickheads. And they just kind of want an excuse to hurt someone else that we know.
They want clicks like everybody else.
Right. They don't give a fuck. I saw one where they got 2 of them and they were like, all right, you guys fight. And whoever wins the fight can leave. But the loser is the cops. And it's like, you don't give a fuck about children. We demonize the thought so much that we don't give that person the space to say, maybe I need to figure this out. Maybe I need to figure out why am I feeling this way? I need to talk to somebody before I do something wrong. And I think that it is a tough thing to say because you're trying to give empathy to somebody that is very hard to empathize with.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'll tell you why I don't empathize with them.
Okay.
I am, as of this month or last month, I hit my 7th year of not drinking, right?
Congratulations.
But I appreciate you. I'm still a full-blown alcoholic. That's why I can't drink. I can't just have a shot to celebrate something. I can't kick back a beer with some people. This is 7 years later, right? But I can't drink now because I don't have the dial that most people have where I can just turn it up to 7 and turn it down to 2. It's a switch for me. Once I turn it on, ain't no turning it off, right? But I don't now. It's always in me. It's always there. It's always a little green-eyed monster that, well, go ahead and get angry, Hulk. That's the thing I'm always saying. Like, it's always there. Now, if at any point in time when I was drinking, and especially during my worst times when I was on the bottle, if that was my last day on the planet, I could have several times died a very not good person. What I had going on in life, what my motivations were, my lack of motivations, my relationships with people, the things that I was doing. There was plenty of times where if that was my last day on earth, wouldn't have been a whole lot of nice things you could have said about me. And I can't sympathize with somebody because at the end of the day, that's an addiction. What led to your particular, where it went that way? I honestly couldn't tell. And look, there's some horror stories when people grow up. I know people that have had horrendous childhoods, and it's like, I almost can't blame you for a lot of this stuff. Yeah. Right. So, but that being said, I don't care. If it's in you, tuck that shit in your pinky toe and never let it come out. Otherwise, if you address it at any point in time, because I know what it's like to have an addiction and then get rid of it and fight through it, and it takes a lot. But yeah, anybody acting on anything like that, I'm sorry. I sympathize. I empathize. You tell me your story. I might shed a metaphorical tear. You gotta go.
So I'm saying there's a difference between the person that acts on it and the person that's having it in their head that needs to do something about it. So in alcoholism, we have AA. And I've never been, but if I understand correctly, usually the person that's running it is also an alcoholic.
Sure, yeah.
And they've learned how to deal with it, and they are now teaching the next people to learn how to deal with it so they don't keep fucking up. If ultimately the goal is keep the kids safe, if telling the pedophile to stuff it down doesn't seem to work, because when you're stuffing it down, you're not processing it. You're not actually figuring out what's wrong and understanding why. And what's going to happen is the Catholic Church is a really good example of that. You've told a bunch of grown adult human males, stuff your sexuality down. They find some weird thing in their brain where they're like, well, if I fuck a kid, that's not technically me fucking a woman, so it's fine, or whatever they're doing. And then they pass it on and they keep going, and you keep telling them to stuff it down rather than, and I understand the anger. I understand the you gotta go mentality, but I would rather that person, before they do the thing to the kid, go to a place, do whatever you need to do to not do the thing to the kid. And clearly this take we've been using of just stuff it down doesn't work because it's still happening. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Well, from my own personal journey, and I think it's a widely circulated thing, specifically, particularly in AA. Like, only time I ever went to AA meetings was when I was court appointed, right? I was designated to go. Otherwise, my mom, my pop, people in my life, other relationships, tried to talk to me over the years. And what a lot of people will say, especially the people who are in the life or got on the wagon, they'll say, you have to do it for you. You go to 1,000 AA meetings, it's not going to change anything until you make the decision in and of yourself. And it's going to be the same for them. We can ship them off to counselors or whatever, rehabs or whatever. How many people in showbiz go to rehabs and then 2.5 months after they get out of rehab, why is Buddy's face on my thing? 12 times in a row. Bad news. Back at it. Yeah. So with them, I think that's so particularly heinous because the devastation and the roots, those roots are deep and fast when you do that, because that's what makes some of them. A lot of them is being predatorized. Somebody doing it to you. Yeah. And now
you keep it going.
Now you keep it going. It's a vampire mentality almost. So when it comes to that, it's like you're almost too tarnished at that point. If you've done it once, if you've done it once, you gotta go because I know it's in you.
Wait, are we talking about the person in the head or the person acting on it?
The person in the head, they just keep it in their head. I'm never gonna know. And I salute anybody that's like that, because to have an addiction and to hold it in and not act on it, I salute anybody for any addiction that they have, especially something like that. Hats off to you. That's amazing. I can't identify with you, but hats off to you for keeping it to yourself. But for anybody that acts on something like that, the potential of what you've just done, how many other people you've devastated through the person you victimized.
I hear you, and I'm not giving any pushback to the person that's acting on it. So I agree.
Yeah,
I guess to me it's what I'm going very practical of what will it take to be proactive, stop it before it happens.
How do you feel about that movie Minority Report?
Oh, fucking love that movie.
So is that something you would legitimately entertain if there was something? So take the loosest frame of the plot on that. So at some point in time, you have the power to turn on hey, we can figure out a crime before it starts and then go arrest the person before they commit the crime. Yeah. Would you be for or against that?
I would be. My knee-jerk reaction is for. I understand that the moral of the story was that it was not. There were flaws in the system, and when you have a flaw in a system that's a type of system like that, it all falls apart. My take on it would be, if I can add my little tweaks, it would be, let's use this, and then we need to figure out a more appropriate punishment or approach after the crime is technically not committed anymore. So like, instead of you were going to commit a crime, I'm going to halo you and now you're stuck in jail for forever. It's like, okay, you were about to commit a crime. We stopped it. Now what do we do moving forward here? Because you didn't do it, but you were going to, and that's sticky. It's subtlety, and I think you would appreciate that. It's subtlety. Instead of going so black and white about a thing, we find what is going to be most beneficial for most people.
I hate it.
You hate the idea of it?
I hate the idea.
Okay, I'm listening.
Because the premise on its own is telling me I do not have free will.
Wait, do you hate the movie or do you hate the?
No, the movie. I'm a Tom Cruise fan. The movie was pretty decent, man. It was pretty decent. I'm talking about the premise, the plot. Yeah. As soon as you're arresting anybody, myself included, for a crime I haven't committed, you were literally telling me free will does not exist. And I am not, you cannot tell me that I'm not in charge. Even if I'm wrong, even if I'm a computer program being played by some alien 80,000 billion miles away, doesn't matter. Yeah. I truly feel like I'm in control of myself, and you're telling me I'm going to commit a crime in a week? Fuck out of here, bro. You don't get these handcuffs off of me.
So your issue is the idea of free will. This is what it's coming down to.
Free will, I have to put free will in the top 3 most important pieces of the human puzzle. In science, in religion, in whatever thing you follow in life, free will is something that comes up. And the fact that you're telling me I'm going to do something before I've even decided to do it, you're telling me everything's pre-planned, which I vehemently disagree with.
I would like to pause and say I always enjoy talking with you.
Likewise, bro. I appreciate having me.
And thank you for having me. And I hope you come back to our Fight Club. I don't know if you're going to not do that.
No, I definitely, I've legitimately been pretty busy, bro.
Okay. You need to fight Christian, by the way. Christian Royce.
It's not spar. Why do you say fight?
Because it sounds cooler. That sounds more badass. You need to spar with Christian.
Yeah, man.
His arms are bigger than you'd anticipate.
Okay.
Anyway, that's funny. Why is the idea of free will so important to you?
It is the human experience. It is the one. If you take it on a religious level, it was a gift from the creator. If you take it on a scientific level, it is what makes us different than animals that have to follow the rules of instincts.
To go on the religious level, is it a gift or is it a curse? Because it's the idea the apple is the intelligence, right?
It's the game. It's the hand that I got dealt.
Okay. Would you say could you argue that free will could be a curse?
Yeah, because free will leads to every decision ever made ever.
Yeah.
So all the good ones and all the bad ones.
If you could snap your fingers and take away the free will, but everything runs smoothly and we're all good, would you do it?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Because what video game would you ever play where they give you the controller, but the game's gonna just win?
Yeah.
Like you have the controller, but don't bother pressing any buttons. You'll win. You're going to win. You'll make it to the end.
Yeah.
And you'll see hey, game over. You won. High score. But you never you're just holding the remote so it's not getting dusty on the ground.
It's funny. I'm only asking these questions because it's interesting, but I completely agree. And it's very human of you. It's a very human way of looking at things.
Oh, it's 1,000% my ego. But my ego is saying, hey, I'm me because I get to do what I want to do. Now, my choices are heavily dictated to by random thoughts that I don't even know where they're coming from, how I was raised, who I interact with. I don't even know what is legitimately completely because I don't even know what being conscious is, how to explain it all the way, or where my thoughts come from. None of that stuff. So, you know, what my free will actually means on paper, don't get me to lying. But the idea, the feeling that I can get up right now in the middle of saying this sentence, throw this microphone across the thing, take the rest of the water bottles out, spill them on my face and go, hey, everybody, like, share, subscribe. Just because I feel like it. But if you would have got here, you know, at the beginning of the thing and been like, hey, at 1:24, you're gonna get up, throw the microphone across the room, and then I still did it. This is one of the things that they were doing in the Matrix, the first Matrix movie. They broached this subject because he goes in to talk to the Oracle chick, and she's like, "Hey, don't worry about that vase. What vase? Boom, knocks the vase over." Yeah. And he was like, "How did you know this?" She was like, "What's really gonna crack your melon is." Would you have did it if I didn't say anything? And even that whole plot was, hey, it's the one, you're the one. So he knows ahead of time he's the one. He ends up being the one, but then come to find out at the end, no, you're not the one. There's a bunch of ones.
Right.
We need to do that because you guys have to feel like you have free will and hope and all that other good stuff. And then at the end of that day, he really was the one out of all the ones. Yeah. Like, you know, like it's something that I think other people have thought of.
Does a baby have free will?
A baby doesn't have anything. It's just a little gelatin pile right there. Actually, in the religious text, in the standard King James Bible, I believe, if a baby has to make it to a certain age in order to be judged on its own sins, otherwise it's judged on the sins of its mother. So, I mean, even in religious texts, Christian texts, that's already been accounted for.
What are you? What are you?
Not non-denominational. I was baptized Roman Catholic. Okay. And then, you know, my mom was young when she had me, but she studied a lot of different faiths. So I actually studied under a lot. My papa's Baptist. One of my aunties was Jehovah's Witness. So I've gone to Baptist church, Protestant. I've studied with Jehovah's Witness. I've been in Catholic service, but and then my loctician right now, super, for every hour and a half I sit in her chair, it is just her trying to get me to church.
That's funny. Why wouldn't you wouldn't go to her church?
I've been there a couple of times. My production company filmed her wedding. But I like discovering knowledge on my own.
Do you believe that when you die, that there's someone is going to be right? Like when you die, one of these religions has to be right.
I think mathematically dying and it all just turns off and this was all just for nothing just doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't make sense. Okay. Who has it right? What exactly happens afterwards? And there's too many unexplainable human experiences that happen that makes me feel like we're connected. Mark, I haven't done my mushroom journey yet. Coming soon. But
Have you never done mushrooms?
I have, but not legitimate ones, like little gummy ones. They didn't work for me. But I'm definitely gonna. I want to try anything that's natural. I'm gonna try it.
We have to talk about this.
Yeah, we will. But bro, nah. I'll give you a. All right, I don't want to tell my mama's business like that. Not on that part. Not on camera. I'd tell you off camera. I'll give you this. When my brother was born, I'm 14 years old, or 13 years older than my brother. 14 years, right? When he was born, it was just my mom and my pop at the hospital, and I was at one of the family friends' house. I woke up randomly at 2:30 a.m. for no reason. And then 10 minutes later, the phone call comes in. Hey, your baby brother just dropped 10 minutes ago. Stuff like that. My mom is a twin, right? Without telling too much of her business, there was one particular time when we were living in Omaha, and my mom's twin was in Texas, and she woke up again, like mad, weird hour in the middle of the night, tried to get a hold of her twin, couldn't get a hold of her. And then my pop was out of town, military stuff. And my mom was like, hey, get your stuff on. We're going to Texas. We drove 14 hours, and come to find out, her intuition was right. There was a very real, very right now moment that my mom needed to be in Texas for a twin. And she got me and drove us 14 hours to Texas because she couldn't get a hold of her twin randomly at some ungodly hour in the middle of the night, and it happened to be right. Stuff like that. When the light turns off, it doesn't make sense that it's just over and this was for nothing.
I hear you and I agree, especially in this feeling of intuition. This feeling, I like calling it the spidey sense.
Yeah.
This feeling of like there's something.
There's something that we can't measure.
And it's always interesting to me when I meet people who, to make it a little more scientific, who don't have whatever part of that brain. I know left or right brain, one is more artistic or intuition based. When I meet people who think in numbers and zeros, they fascinate me in that I don't know how they navigate. When I was on the road, I met this, I ended up staying at, do you know Jack Woods?
Yeah.
So, we stayed at his, frat brother's house, and one of them, his name is Samuel, who is very, I'm going to say right brain, whatever the logic and reason is. And you can feel that he doesn't look at the world the same way. Like, here's kind of, see if you relate to this. I kind of see people in auras. It's a mixture of like shapes and colors and sounds. And it's how I gauge, like, how much do I trust you? And I couldn't put into words how he views things, but I'm curious, is what I'm describing make sense? Is that how you see people?
Yeah, I mean, probably in a roundabout way. I get what you're saying. Like the vibe.
Yeah, okay. I'll use Bob Keane as an example.
Yeah.
When I see Bob, I see kind of a dingy green.
Oh, I get what you mean.
And
like his backlight.
It's dingy green, big. It's very big, almost like flame-like.
Just say Oscar the Grouch. So when you meet people, you turn them into Sesame Street characters. And he happens to be Oscar the Grouch.
You're definitely
you know a couple of snuffleupaguses, a Big Bird or two.
But there's this, it's hard to describe, and and it's not literally what I'm seeing, but this is the feeling I get. And it doesn't feel, to stay on Bob, it doesn't feel dangerous.
Yeah.
It feels like its own contained thing that you can come in and out of as you please. And when you've had enough of the green, you can kind of step out of the green and it will stay to itself.
Yeah.
That's how I see people, and that's how I gauge if I trust them or not. And to that similar feeling of intuition, it's indescribable, and it's so hard to talk to somebody who doesn't think that way.
Sure,
because you just sound crazy to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say there's something I was gonna say that I wanted to. Oh, shrooms.
Let's not implicate ourselves on camera. As a matter of fact, do me a favor because I do have to make moves and we're going to continue this conversation off camera. But please let this is a phenomenal conversation. We can do it for the next 5 hours. But please let the folks know how they can find you. Tell them about your podcast, what you got going, and where they can find you.
Right now you can find me on the streets. When does this come out?
You're not too long.
Okay.
Maybe a week and a half, something like that.
Yeah, as long as it's warm, you can find me out on the streets. I'm in Wicker Park. I'm in Logan Square, Boys Town, and Andersonville, and I'm still finding other spots. My podcast is Join the Journey podcast.
Join the Journey.
Yeah. It's out there, and
I've done it a couple of times.
Yeah, good times. Good
times always.
And you should check out Lessons from Lorraine. It's the comedy special I put on YouTube. It's only like 13 minutes. And then I'm in the process of putting out Fight Night. That's still being edited, where I filmed the whole special in a boxing ring.
Oh, nice.
And Aaron Chase 91 on Instagram. Come out to shows. I'm doing things.
Hell yeah. Mike Night Comedy on all the things. Real Rap Podcast. You know what it is. The next week, gang, I have incredible, like a whole slew of guests, some high power guests as well. And then also big surprise coming up in like 2-3 weeks. It's going to be awesome. So stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe if you made it this far. We are growing as a community. I thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. I've been Mike Night Comedy. This is Aaron Chase, Mr. Chase. Real Rap Podcast. Love you guys. Out. Peace.